Okay, I want to say hello again everybody. It's only me, Woosha Richard. Thanks for joining me again. This video is a video that was a request. Okay, so in this video I'm making here, I will talk about a topic, and the topic was requested by my good bro online, Demsley. Hi Demsley. Again, okay, very good topic. Very interesting topic. But bear with me, okay? I'm going to speak just from my points of view, okay, as always, and speak freely, as I always do, and honestly. It's the best way. Because if you start lying to yourself when you're speaking about any subject, and you start to twist your words or think about, we have to be careful sometimes in how we communicate ourselves. Fair enough, but that's only because of ignorance in the world. The truth is, if you're positive, that's the most important thing, and as long as you are trying to put a positive message out, and as long as you are trying to help others to see better in themselves from their point of view and not just see from your point of view, because you can't, but you know what I mean, just see better and do better, and if you're doing it for the good of the world, that's the most important thing. Some people might be offended by certain things, even when you've tried to help them or share something positive sometimes with them, knowledge-wise or experience. But remember, that's any kind of negative thoughts, anything, even being lack of forgiveness after you've already forgiven them 99 times maybe, but as you see it, you've been offended, or it's always a mind thing. So that's what we need to understand. We need to be lenient with each other, people in general. I think when we hear someone speak, they're not going to speak exactly how you want them to hear, but how do you feel when you know when someone's speaking to you and that person, maybe it's a close friend of yours, but that person is actually having to be careful, and they're trying to say it a certain way, not to upset you or anything, and they say it comfortably, and they speak differently to different people too, so you're just one of them in the list of their friends, and they're being careful because they think you're going to be like that. How do you feel? You should feel terrible about yourself then, that you've put this pressure on them. You should be reassuring and say, look, it doesn't matter what you think. I'll respect you for whoever you are. That's my attitude. That's how I would treat someone. As long as they're not arguing and tearing each other's throats out, you know what I mean? You're just communicating, respecting different viewpoints and saying, well, okay, eye to eye, you see eye to eye, you see like, well, okay, I've shared my points of view, good things that have helped me in my life, let's say, you've shared your points of view, I might try that sometime, I don't know, it doesn't fit me as such, but it's not like to tell you, you're wrong, listen to me, oh no, you should this or you should that. I never do that. That's just pathetic. Because who are we to order others around, and who are they to listen to us? They become nobody if they just listen to us, even if we're right, because everyone's entitled to having this mind that they've been born with, not bought with, and they have to earn more, they have to develop it in time, Okay, I want to say, anyway, this topic, that's a deep topic there, right? Getting onto the topic, this topic again was brought up by Demsley, my good brother online. Demsley, that's Dwayne G. Demsley, a martial artist. So he's my martial arts bro, Recently, excuse me. Recently, there was this terrible these bombings that happened in France. Okay, it's been terrible. It's been terrible. Absolutely awful. Terror attacks and shootings and bombs going off. Okay, but there's violence going on all over the world. In England, excuse me, where I came from, England. It's been 10 years since I was in England, but I'm from England originally, and we see violence in America, other countries all over the world, right? Things like Syria. I don't know much about those countries, fair enough. But you know what I mean. There's violence of some kind all over the world, and it's like, what I say, basically, I want to say basically, the topic, right? Basically, let's get onto the topic. Basically, know what I mean, bro? Nothing, cause Oh, I pressed the wrong button, don't worry. Clicked the wrong thing, I should say. One moment. Okay, yeah, so yeah, it's a request from Demsley, okay, and this is kind of based on that, but it's not exactly. It's about violence in the whole. So on the whole. So hold on one second. I will read out the request from Demsley, my bro. Demsley said this: please, dear bro, make a vid about the core essence of training martial arts solo for survival in today's vile world. Say that again. Demsley wants me to talk about the core essence of training martial arts solo for survival in today's modern world. Not sports, okay, not for sports, but for real fitness and traditional killer skill to equip us in case we encounter azimuth terrorists or violent people in general. A fitter body is better. Let's keep it healthy. This is real training. All the countries train their armies in PE, physical education, and martial arts. So we should take it up. We should take it up on ourselves to train ourselves. Exactly. Well, I totally agree with that. Okay, I totally agree with that. First of all. But as usual, as always, I'll probably surprise everybody and blow everybody away. I always speak from reality points of view. Always from reality, okay? When it comes to martial arts and training and self-defense and all of that and safety, you must be about reality. You can't be an idiot. Like this, though. Right, let's look at the thing, right? You've got violence. What's the threat? What's the threat? Unseen enemies again. You know, that's always hard. It's like, you know, sometimes seen, but you know, it's like first of all you need to recognise the threat. You know, it could be terrorists in your country. It could be a threat among the group. You know what I mean. You need to fight. You need to be very good and watch for things. You know, a kid in a kids group, let's say, or a class where there's one kid who's a bit of a bully, or maybe the victim of bullying. You need to have an eye for what stands out, but you might not see it. It might be subtle things, you know what I mean? But it's like when you see it, and you do see it, and you study more, then it will become a more clear thing. It will just stand out to you more, and you shouldn't get like blinded and like just get the wrong idea. You'd be humble the whole time and always be ready to step back and say maybe I was wrong, but always be ready again to say I need to step back and say that was right. You know, you can't look at everything that you can't. If I'm looking here, I can't look over there, right? But I've got peripheral vision, I've got awareness, I'm using my senses. I know what's behind me, I know if someone's standing over there. But it's like you can't focus on the whole world, the whole system, the whole time, you know, and always make the right choices and all of that either. But you have to have an eye for things. So people around you too, someone you're a bit suspicious of. You can't just be suspicion and have suspicion and let that rule you. It's kind of like your mind can play tricks on you, whether that person's present or not present. Now I'm getting flashbacks from the movie Double Impact with Van Damme. You know, the brother is thinking about his brother and afraid that he's going with his woman, you know, but you know what I mean? It's like, these are false things, and the mind is the mind. And remember, it's not about fear, it's not about confidence, it's not about even emotions, which are human, and we do have these, you know, happiness, anger, all that jealousy, intrigue, whatever, you know, but it's like, you know, what is, ultimately it's not that, it's not the mind and the emotions, it's about what really works and what is done, you know what I mean? It's like, and think like having that right key for that right door, that right technique that works in a martial arts fight. Let's say in a fight and you use a martial arts technique for self-defense, you know, it's the same thing. It's not all the flowing, flashy wushu forms. It might be good and the fitness is great, but you need to work with what works, and it's what works to make things work, you know. So, like you got the wrong batteries for the wrong toy or the wrong tool, you know. That's not a toy, that's a tool. So you need to know what you have and then what power works for what. So you got the wrong batteries for that, but you might be able to do better with that or not, or worse. It just depends. So anyway, though, what am I talking about? You know, you need to be able to spot danger or spot and see more. You have to train yourself. Martial arts teaches us this, and the mind is the most important thing. That's why I'm talking about the mind here already, before we get onto the physical training the body. But the mind is the thing, and then the actual self being aware and all of this, and all your enhancing your senses, you know, and your common sense and your logic, you know, I should say your personal logic. But it's like, you know, it's like yourself though. You've got to be able to see more. You know, that's what most important. It's like martial arts teaches you that, to train yourself to see more. It's like a baby that is growing up and developing his sight, his vision, his hearing, is developing. Martial arts teaches us that. It's teaching us in life as people to be better people, don't forget. That's what half of martial arts really means, better person. This is through these arts, you know, we're creative. It's like martial arts, and it's teaching you to make your eyes see better, to see things more and more in time, like to see like in the dark. Let's say if you train in the dark, like to be like a bat that can see in the dark, like Batman, you know what I mean? Be able to like a better feeling and a sensitivity, like you do the pushing hands in Tai Chi, you know, for example. So it's like you're enhancing all your being, right? So to be aware, to be able to read things quickly, to be able to pick up things quickly, learn quickly, hear things like different accents or music, and so you see what I'm trying to say, and you know, spot things out in like you know, finding a needle in a haystack, you know. But you're making the difficult things get more easier. Right? So I don't know. Excuse me, I'm rambling, I'm stuttering. Get back to the point. What I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is, if you've got a problem, who are you going to call? The Ghostbusters? No, of course, no. It's like you know, one step back in slow motion. No, I'm just saying, really, though, you know, there's a problem in your country or a problem in your house or whatever. You know, you've got to be able to see. So you might be in a castle, or you might be in some kind of building somewhere. Let's say a castle. You know, you're standing there, and you could have sworn you heard a sound. It's a dark night, let's say, and you didn't see anybody climbing through the window or someone invade your territory, let's say. It could be anything. I'm just saying a castle for fun in this example. And then you suddenly hear a little sound, or you see a shadow go past the doorway. A shadow go past the doorway. Who was that, you know? You can either ignore it and refuse, even though you saw it as clear as day, but you refuse it, reject it, sorry, you know, then what are you going to get from that? Nothing. I'm not saying follow bumps in the night and shadows and anything. I'm not saying follow and grasp a tear. But it's like you've got to grasp at. It's like, you know, you have to keep reaching so you can get something as such. You know what I mean? Putting your hand in the water, like the cat trying to catch the fish. You might even be able to see, but you might catch some. Or you might be picking up soil and dirt from the ground. If you keep doing that, you might find a stone. You might find a piece of gold. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah? You have to keep at it as such, but you have to have reason to. But as soon as there's reason, it's like fear or anything, or any kind of negative thoughts you might have in your mind, or any thoughts, even excitement or happiness, you've got to ask yourself why. And is it really that important to you, really, as a person? Can you do without that? You know what I mean? But it's like, if it is, then you should look at it and say, why? What has led me to believe something is to be? You know, if there's no real reason, it's just coming to your mind by itself, then that's wrong. But if you've seen something, then if you want to pursue that because there's something there, then it's common sense, it makes sense, you go and you want to learn more about it. So what I'm trying to say is, when something keeps happening too, when you've got like violent terrorist attacks and things like that, or violence, you need to study the whole thing, study the whole picture, understand it more better. understand your enemy, understand this and that. So in combat terms, as what Dempsey's saying here, you see, we need to understand what you're up against. You need to understand the danger. So if it's an enemy, a violent person, you need to understand the danger, right? And what can I say? But anyway, Dempsey though is basically talking about how we can train though. So get on to the main thing. How can we train to defend ourselves against any forms of violence? But he has said here specifically terrorists and terrorist attacks. Well, obviously, it's not that easy. If someone was to point a gun at you, what the fuck would happen? You know, you would probably freeze, no matter what martial arts you know, no matter how fast you can move. You know, it would be so scary. If there's a group of them as well, oh my God, you know. And if let's say you know, let's say if it was a bomb, again a terrorist bomb attack, then you wouldn't know. But if it's not there, you didn't know the bomb was there, and then you get blown up. What can you do? It's just the reality of it, right? So you can see what I'm saying. It's hard to deal with someone standing in front of you pointing a gun at you and you're standing a couple of meters away, you know, such. It's hard to deal with that, right? Or a group of them, you know, with weapons that you know what I mean? It's how to deal with that is the question. And if there's a bomb that you don't know that's there, how can you deal with that? You've got things like border security and things they're talking about in the world, you know, checking for guns and bombs and gun control and this and that. But it's like, countries like America as well allowing guns, and then there's other countries and that which blame countries that don't have guns for the gun violence that happens in those countries. They blame them for saying, well, you don't let people protect themselves like they do in America. But you see what I'm trying to say? People have different opinions about this. To me, a weapon's a weapon, but a gun's a gun. If there were no guns, it's true, you know, anyone could go and use a kitchen knife and go and kill people with a kitchen knife because knives are available to anyone, right? Anyone can use different methods to kill people, and there's violence among people in general, in the real world as well as in prisons as well. But it's like guns are made for shooting, you know, and killing, right? It's a weapon of attack. It's a violent weapon. So we can't, you know, when the laws say that countries can use violence, you know, as such, as something like a gun, which can be fatal, you know, guns to protect themselves, you know, they use this form of violence to protect themselves. What do you think? How do you feel about that? In some ways, it sounds like kind of okay, but it sounds like kind of not okay as well. You know what I mean? As I've always said. But what I'm trying to say is to do with the laws, the countries, the people that run the countries. Like I say again, it's like a big motherfucking KFC. They only sell what you buy, and they will sell more to you what you buy if it works for them. So as I've already said with the governments and that, people don't really give a damn about people in general. It's not as simple as to say, what can we do as people then? Train martial arts, you know, train tactics, train ourselves to be more vigilant, like vigilantes, you know, train ourselves to be more like soldiers in different ways, have stealth abilities, you know, train physical abilities, you know, all kinds of that. Because you can do all kinds of physical training. You can go to the gym every day. You might put yourself on a program like similar to like some army people do. You might do real good training. You might go running, swimming, climbing over walls and stuff. If you know a wall that's nearby you, you might start running up, climbing over that wall and jumping over about 50 times per day. You know what I mean? Doing skipping and all that. Weight training on a punch bag, kick bag. You might try grappling and ground fighting and stand up and all that MMA. Or real combat strategies like I talk about, like Kung Fu and that. You might train all that with people fighting every day. Boxing, you might even do real hardcore, like bare knuckle fist fight you see. You might do that you might practice shooting yourself even. Not shooting yourself, but shooting, same thing, you know what I'm saying? You might be literally, like I'm saying, practicing shooting, archery, whatever it might be, tactics of war, you know, tactics of combat. Whether it might be anything, hacking on computers. You might train anything you can imagine. But the mind is the powerful weapon. My teacher used to say, the mind is a powerful weapon. It's how you can use it. Some people might use money, but some people might use their knowledge, their word of mouth, the language, You know, the language of the streets. You know, it's the same as you get like these police officers undercover who go and work with like criminals and street gangs across the world. And they speak their language, their lingo, and that. And get in, you know, it's very dangerous, but they learn and they can learn things and deal with some things there. You know, but you know, how far can you go? And the rest of it is that a lot of gangs want you to prove this or that to them as well, and you've got to do this or that. But you know, and there's or it could be like the same with like some kids in schools or colleges or young youths that are getting into trouble and that when they shouldn't be, and they shouldn't be. And it's like some people are like youth workers, and they'll be good at speaking to young people and that to get them on the right track. You know what I mean? I love that documentary. I love the show called Scared Straight, and also you've got Beyond Scared Straight. Very interesting shows. Look them up on YouTube. And then again, the same with the religious people, whoever it might be. You know, I'm saying people in general being able to communicate with other people on their level. Yes, you've got to be a master actor, a master of the mind. You're supposed to be a master of being able to study that, mix with that, understand people a bit better. You can't just say combat people. You have to understand where they're coming from. And the mind is a powerful weapon. If you shut down someone's mind or control someone's mind, you can control their actions, basically. You know what I'm trying to say? It's the two deepest stuff in the martial arts, really. And if you can, and before even having to do that, even if you can act, you know, and if you can close all the exits, and if you can close all of the entrances. Sorry, yeah, like if you can take away every door, you know, lock every door, take away every bridge that there's possible, you know, for them to cross. They always find more people are determined, but you know what I mean, though? It's like, if you let them in, you know, it's just too late, you know what I'm trying to say. So you can't let the opponent see you, you can't put yourself in danger. Martial arts is about that. So you have to be able to cut it down. If you take away their weapons, they might not think about picking it up. But if you take away their weapon, they might think of picking something else up. But it's like if you take away the idea of a weapon in their mind, like a gun or laws that allow guns, for example, things like that. You take away the ideas of anything, then they won't have the idea to even think about that even. So what you've got to try and do is work towards, and this is probably impossible, but it's like something we've got to work towards, is trying to take their minds away, even for a split second. You can do this in life in many situations. Take people's minds away from violence, confusing them, acting, fair enough. They might want to make fun out of you. I've been doing that when I was in school. When I was in school getting bullied and that, there were so many times that I outsmarted people and muggers and people on the street. Even to this day, I use mind games and words, you know, to like get people thinking a different way, and they might think I'm funny, they might make fun of me or look down on me in another way, but it takes them away from the initial thing which they were going to do, which is going to more likely to hurt me in some way, you know. So, but you can't. You've always got to be prepared for the unexpected, and yes, you have to. That's right, Demsley. You've got to be prepared for the unexpected, though, because someone could still turn around. Someone comes up to you and tells you, "Give me all your money, or I'm going to kill you," whatever. "Give me your phone, or I'll kill you." You might hand over your phone or your money or whatever, and the person still kills you or does something to you. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean you shouldn't do that, but because no material things add up to worth the same as a life. But if you can get away, get away. But if you can't get away, you have to fight. You know. But a fight can mean many things. How do we fight? From the mind, the language, the mind, the body, whatever it's going to be, you know what I mean? And then using things around us, like I mentioned in other videos to you before too. You can check out the other videos, what I say about using things like when you're running away from someone, you go and lock a door behind you, or put a table out or something, slow them down on the way. You can do that with word of mouth too, and confusing mind games. But what I'm trying to say is, if you can do things without them even seeing you there, the best block is to not be there, so be as far away from negativity as possible, and let their energy get dragged into a black hole. Excuse my language. Excuse myself. I'm so tired. I'm very, very tired. I had little sleep last night, as I say. But you know what I mean, though. Yeah. Let them obliterate themselves rather than obliterate you. Your opponent can destroy themselves, but as long as it doesn't destroy you. But you should be trying to make people feel good about themselves, and trying to let people, you know, love life in general, their own and others. So again, what I'm saying though is, you know, all this kind stuff, morality and minds, the stuff that I'm talking about here, is irrelevant, sadly, when you're dealing with pure evil and things that are not going to work. A lot of times it's just irrelevant because there's too much danger around you. Your life's threatened, people's lives are threatened. You're on the verge of being attacked or killed or whatever. So, you know, all I'm saying is all this philosophical stuff and as well, and it's like, it just is what it is. When push comes to shove, combat's combat. You need good combat training and fighting abilities. You need a bit of a physique, a more fit physique of some kind. It might not match up to other people, but you definitely have that, you know. It's like the people living in the village, you know, and somebody said, quick, tomorrow, you know, in a few weeks' time or a few months' time, there's going to be a massive army there's an army of tough military trained guys are going to come in to fight and drive us out of the town. Well, we've only got a few weeks or months, but we better prepare our bodies the best we can. You know, all the people in the village have to protect themselves against the soldiers that come in to like drag them out. Let's say hand to hand. Let's say, you know, for example, just say, you know, not only tactics but like the physical training we're talking about now, the martial arts. So they might not be able to train up to that level, but to match them, but they'll be able to train themselves to some level. And the thing is, what beats people is your mind is always different to someone else's mind, don't forget, so they won't understand you. So the thing which beats someone is different tactics to theirs. You've got things like reverse psychology and this and that, or mirror, you know, they shine the light, you put a mirror up, it shines in their own eyes. But what I'm trying to say is you've got your tactics, and that in itself could be a different tactics to what they expect. You know? Someone thinks you're going to fight them, so they come fighting at you hard, they come coming at you to fight you, and they expect you to be coming back fighting, and they want to capitalise on that. Or they might expect you to bow down, or they might expect you to just get knocked the fuck out by their fist. So the best thing to do is realise you've got to be fast too, if you're in that situation. But the thing I'm going to say, right, is, again, be strong. It's like, you know, I'm just saying, right, it's like, people are all the same. It's just like, basic thing is like, excuse me, I'm tired. I was going to say this the other day, I was thinking about this. Sometimes I'm funny, like, sometimes I'll, like, not often, because I don't want to, like, be silly, but sometimes when I'm in my class, when I'm teaching my students, like in the universities, you'll get some students who are really funny and they're like cocky, you know, they love themselves and all this. And sometimes I'll be in the classroom and it'll be a quiet moment, let's say, in the class, and I'll be walking around the classroom reading a book or talking to the students. And sometimes there'll be like a student behind me or something, and they're like, I don't know, falling asleep or something, or just like in their own negative way of thinking, and I'll just turn around and I'll just go "Ooh," and scare them, give them a scare, you know, from the back. Not, you know, so nothing too bad. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's like these pranks and things you see on TV, these prank videos. Some of them are really funny on YouTube and that, but pranks and that, you've got to be careful too, because people might have heart conditions. You know, you don't want to scare somebody silly. You know, but what I'm trying to say is that the thing is though, you know, it shows though, no matter how confident a person you are, no matter how big a tough guy you might carry on and play out to be, but under it all, we're all human beings. It's actually very, very easy to take someone's attention away somewhere else, or distract someone, or scare someone, or surprise someone if you do something suddenly. So when that happens, you see that, yeah, you've got that control. It's the same as if you were on the street now, or if you're on the bus somewhere and you look at someone and you think, if you didn't tell that person, they would have known, you just suddenly punched the guy in the face. You could, right? I'm not saying do it, but you know what I'm trying to say. So what I'm trying to say is, in the physical, it might look bigger and stronger, but it's like, in the physical, you know, we are what we are, and we're both human beings, all of us, and in the mind, they're easy to like sway and take away, but it's like, you've got to be careful, and it's like, there's sudden things, and the speed, and the things they can't catch up on, and the things they can't see, and the tactics that you use that are different, you know. So there's a lot of things there. But what I'm trying to say now, okay, is we're going to continue what I'm saying though. Physical training is very important in martial arts when you're dealing with any kind of enemies. But you know, you've got to remember that in terms of the physical fighting, like with the body, we're not talking about like weapons like swords and bow staffs like martial arts. I'll say martial arts with the body though. and using anything around, that's fair enough. But I'm just saying the body though, right? The way you move, you know, and fight, and the physicality. Yeah, definitely, Demsley, you're right. We've got to train really, really hard, and you know, learn all we can in our lives, and improve our skills, hone our skills, you know, and always develop to get better skills, and improve, and reaction, and speed, and power, all of that. And then with the fitness training as well. So you're right, the fitness training and all of that too. So the more fitness training you do, and the more physical, and the more martial arts, like fighting, like sparring, and working different techniques is also great. That's what you should be doing. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not going to work against a gun or a bomb, such or such, right? So, you know, it's like, what are we going to do about you know, violence in the world is the thing. So I can go into real deep talks and like go into this even deeper maybe, but it's like, I'm not going to say a lot here. Okay, bro, thank you, Demsley, so much for the request. What can I say is I can't simply just say, yeah, everybody, you've got to be ready, you know, start training your martial arts, man. If you don't fucking do it, you're going to be an idiot, you know. What if someone comes to grab you and take you away? You've got to learn how to get into locks and how to block and strike. That's true, but what I'm trying to say is, a lot of these people, you know, who kidnap people or this or that, they're going to come at you with guns, knives, groups of them, you know. You're threatened by gunpoint, what do? You know, at gunpoint, what do you do? You're threatened at gunpoint. Or if you are, if there's a bomb that just goes off, what are you going to do? You know, so it's not that, it's the country. What we should be doing is like voting and all that. I don't want to say going to riots and stuff, but you know what I mean? It's to do with the government. Whoever's running the country has got to be some, you know, it's whoever's running the government, what's going on, you know, in the country in general. Allowing what into the country and what's happening, you know, and violence in general is just so messed up. I want to talk more about this. I'm falling asleep. I'm kind of tired here. Sorry, guys. But the thing I was saying again, the core essence of training martial arts solo, yeah, as Demsley said, the core essence then would definitely be, though, to enhance yourself, like doing stretching every day. Fitness stretching is very important. Do some exercises. Stance work, if you like. Do some squats, do some stretching, strengthen your body, do push-ups if you want to, squats for your legs, you know, do lots of stretching, more and more stretching. The more flexible the better, of course, but the more stronger the better too. Hold in certain positions and stance to give yourself stamina. Do a bit of weights. You can do heavy weights, but I recommend light weights so you can move quicker later on and use the power that you develop over time. But you know, light weights, do them slowly. Breathing exercises, running and swimming and things like that are really good for your breathing and really good for the whole body energy. You can do like jumping exercises, as I say, all this physical stuff, you know, but the actual fighting moves and the application, like hand to hand, matter, you know, to practice. But it's another topic, as I say, though, you know. But I don't believe just giving everybody guns is the way to go about things. Or giving everybody guns and bombs. That's not the way around it, you know. I'm going to stop this video. I'm falling asleep. If you say, I was so tired. I had around 4 hours or so sleep last night. I'm just so exhausted. Maybe you had 1 hour sleep. I don't know, but I'm so tired. Thank you so much for watching. Too much violence in the world. Too much competition. Too much evil. I'm tired of that too. We've got to keep martial. Everyone's got to keep healthy and train your body and fitness, your martial ability, you know, and everything, your skills, your mind, but that you've got to practice communication with people. And one person sadly can't control the whole group. They're all sticking up for each other, and the group's choice is to kill you. What do you do then? So in physical ability, you've got to learn to be able to fight, you know, really well on that, and avoid being in the line of fire. So avoid a bomb, you know, if you know there's going to be a bomb there, don't go there. You know, if you know the guy's going to point a gun at you from the angle, don't be there. You know, it's just the thing. It's like, what are you going to do? I'm going to stop this video. I'm falling asleep, alright? Martial arts forever. Keep it real. I'm going to do some real good talk. I've got some more talks I want to talk about regarding violence among people in general. I've got another topic I want to make. Plus another topic about like true martial arts. I'll get onto that in a moment also, okay? And yeah, I've got some more topics coming up, alright, so you just take care. Thanks for watching. Thanks, guys.